Are Indians abroad paying through their noses for the humble roti? Gaming companies become outliers in an era of cost cutting, and India makes the cut, global brokerages bet. This is Business Plus, your definitive edge to business and economy. For Indians craving their rotis in foreign lands, 2 square meal a day seems to have become a costly affair. India's export ban on wheat has sent prices through the roof. A 10 kg pack of atta is now selling for as much as $75, close to 6,000 rupees in the US, as per some Indians who are settled abroad. Now that's almost 10 times of the price we pay in India. But others contest that brand-based inflation is more the culprit and not the commodity price per se. Remember, India is world's second biggest wheat producer, but accounts for less than 1% of the global wheat trade. This is a recent development as the country decided to provide food subsidy as well as free ration for almost 80 crore Indians under the National Food Security Act. Wheat accounts for 65% of India's winter-sown food grains, but export ban notwithstanding, India itself is facing a shortage of wheat as a severe heat wave curtailed India's wheat production by almost 2.5% last year. Now, government procurement also fell by more than 55% as wheat farmers preferred to sell the wheat in open market, which offered obviously better prices as compared to procurement through central government agencies. The government banned wheat exports in May last year, but some shipments are allowed to meet food security needs of countries that request it, including Bangladesh, Nepal and Sri Lanka. In 2019-2020, remember, Sri Lanka and UAE imported more than 50% of their wheat from India, according to Observatory of Economic Complexity, and Nepal imported more than 90%. And that brings us here now. In the US, shops are reportedly selling Indian goods and they're hanging boards that says no flour outside of them. Reports also indicate that a rationing-like situation has also emerged, with shopkeepers giving customers only 1 flour packet at a time. Shopkeepers are also selling flour packets at a price 3 times higher than the fixed price, vexing Indians who are living abroad. Some Indians, however, have taken to Twitter commenting that local flour brands are available at regular prices and serves in fact cheaper alternatives to Indian brands which are right now costlier. Rakesh joining us with Newsroom View. Rakesh, what are the merits to the debate on higher atta prices abroad?
Look, Shweta, we must not rush into an easy decision and review the ban immediately. I mean the ban on the wheat exports. So what must happen is that we have to put this in context. Russia and Ukraine together account for about 30% of exports of wheat. So there's bound to be some disruption. In the short term, as regards the ban, we must look at optimized procurement and cooling down our prices to MSP level. In the medium term, what we must do is that we must have a consistent and a reasonable policy which is in sync with the nature of the business and not driven by pure politics.
Okay, nature of the business, not driven by pure politics. That's our newsroom view as far as wheat prices in US is concerned. But shifting focus now, if you love games and are hooked onto phones throughout the day, we have good news. Gaming is no more a hobby. It is now a full-fledged profession that can employ you and also pay your bills. In fact, the industry is expected to create more than 10,000 jobs this year, in sharp contrast to layoffs in the IT sector, which is traditionally seen as a safer profession. What is the gaming scene in India looking like? Let's find out. Remember, gaming is one of the fast-growing sunrise industries in India today. The gaming industry generates revenues of over $1.5 billion in 2019-2020, clocking a 40% growth in that year. Now, in 2022, it hit a $2.6 billion in revenues and is projected to surpass it to $5 billion by 2025, as per various reports that are out there. Now, expanding at a compound annual growth rate of as much as 27%. In fact, the growth of Indian gaming industry is bigger than its US counterpart. India recently overtook the US in terms of user that are playing games in India, exceeding more than 300 million as of today. But it's not just about the number of people playing games. Around 2/3 of serious gamers are actually wanting to explore gaming as a full-time or part-time career. This according to an HP India Gaming Landscape study in 2022. Now, considering the growth and future scope, this booming industry has many promising opportunities available, such as gaming developers, UI UX designers, among others. The industry is currently employing close to 50,000 individuals, with 30% of whom are programmers and developers. Close to 10,000 new jobs will be created in the sector in financial year 2023, and this is projected to increase by 50% as per India Brand Equity Foundation report, taking the industry's overall growth to more than 113% by 2025. The need for virtual entertainment is said to be driving the surge in gaming. India's young demography is also a major factor. Other key growth drivers also include India's smartphone penetration and affordable internet that ensures every person is hooked on to online games. Remember, companies are not just actively hiring for talent that possesses relevant skills, but also those that have a passion for gaming. So bring your gaming consoles out now. And moving on, global brokerages are betting on India to continue outperforming global economies. 70% of global leaders share a similar sentiment, despite believing that 2023 to be an year of global depression. Credit rating agency Moody's has pegged India to be the best performing economy in the financial year 23-24 among G20 nations. The sentiment was also echoed by other brokerages, including JP Morgan, Jefferies and Goldman Sachs. All of them expect India to buck the global trend that suggests that a recession is looming large for most economies. The 2023 Business Leaders Outlook Survey, which captures the confidence of global business leaders, also shows optimism is high for the national economy. 68% of respondents were upbeat about India at a time when majority of them expect a recession in 2023. The majority of leaders in India are also confident of their own companies, with almost 95% expecting that their revenues will increase or remain constant in 2023. Data shows that their claim is not far-fetched. Over the last decade, Indian subsidiaries of global FMCG giants including Unilever, Nestle, Reckitt have outperformed their parent companies both in revenue and in profit growth. Now, despite the rosy outlook, most global brokerages have also slashed their growth expectation for the country recently. In its recent report, Moody's pegged India's GDP to decline to 5.6% in 23 and 24. This is significantly lower than Centre's expectation of 7% growth for this year and RBI's forecast of 6.5% for the next year. Now, Fitch Ratings also expect India's growth rate to slow from 7% in this fiscal to 6.2% in financial year 24. S&P has also projected that Indian economy will grow at 6% in 23 and 6.9% in 2024. Last year, Goldman Sachs revised India's real GDP growth projections for 2023 downwards to 5.9% from 6.9%. Meanwhile, Jefferies also expect India's economy to grow at overall 6% in the fiscal year 2024. In October 2022, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) also slashed its growth forecast for India for financial year 23 to 6.8%, while keeping its projections for financial year 24 unchanged to 6.1%. IMF Deputy Managing Director Geeta Gopinath has cautioned that India needs to work on labour markets and land, even as she hailed the country for doing better than its global peers. And that's all we have in this edition of Business Plus. For more incisive news analysis and cutting-edge documentaries, keep streaming News 9 Plus. Thanks for watching.